The 7 little known facts that lead to the number one cause of joint pain. Hi, I'm Donna Patterson, founder of Live by Design, and today we're going to talk about the number one cause of joint pain and the 7 things that you need to look out for. Before I get to that, just want to tell you that if you're liking the content, if you feel this is of value, make sure to share it. But more than that, even remember to subscribe so to get more health tips just like this one. So, in one word, how would you describe joint pain? Uh, some people talk about excruciating pain. It could be very constant, a dull, constant ache. It could be very piercing, especially the ones that attack your middle of the night and have you just jumping up in your sleep. Worse when it's combined with leg cramps. That's the worst, in my opinion. Um, for some people, it can be very restrictive and debilitating because I have a client, she, went to many doctors in order to deal with the poor circulation and the joint pain and numbness and so forth and general weakness in her legs. And, she wasn't getting any help. She actually had to give up working and basically was chained to her home in her chair and her bed actually, not not able to do a lot of things for herself. And as she, in her own words, says, watching life go by, watching other people live their life, and she, had to be kind of almost immobilized. But thankfully, that's not the case at this point in time. And I know what I'm talking about because I myself was there. I had a broken arm and a dislocated shoulder. And then, of course, I will mention another reason, another time why I had serious joint pain. I mean, my arm wasn't healing. What should have happened in 3 weeks took more than 3 months to heal. So I can tell you, nutrition is a very big part of the entire thing. So, what is the number one cause of joint pain? Inflammation. And inflammation has been found to be related to almost every disease um, known currently, even including cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, even congestive heart failure. Right? So, what is it? Basically, it is the body's defense mechanism. It's a multiple sort of biological complex pathways that enable the body to identify danger, isolate it, and deal with it, and remove the byproduct, the bad things out of your body. Now, you might be saying, Donna, well, if it's part of a natural process, then why is it causing me pain? The problem is that inflammation meant to, at the end of it, initiate the healing process, unfortunately, if left unchecked, actually starts destroying healthy cells and healthy tissues. So, for example, inflammation in your knees, for example, or tends to destroy your cartilage. So you get the crooks in the knee, it feels weak, it trembles when you walk, that sort of thing, just to give an example. So the number one cause of inflammation and of course joint pain usually tends to be old injuries and old surgeries, particularly those that have not completely healed. When I say completely healed, is that it still remains a weak point in your skeletal structure where under particular conditions, it tends to be irritated and cause you pain. All right. And so some people, sleeping badly, poor posture tends to create little weaknesses like fissures. You can have a fracture that is a fissure, like a hairline kind of fracture, and other things that could be totally broken. So imagine like little fissures happening along your skeletal system, but because you're young and you're feeling it, when you get older, you know, bad bending practices, bad lifting practices, your disc, certain situations you're weaker, all of that compounds, and then you feel the effects later on in life, right? Then you feel your bones hurting and you're wondering what happened. Bad caring during all those years, right? Catching up. Then food irritants. And this could be almost anything for anybody. You'll really have to look um, to really watch what you're eating and see what happens. But generally, a lot of people don't even know what they're sensitive to. For example, some people eat, if they eat something or drink acidic or eat acidic foods, in the evening they have pain. For some people, it could be something as simple as broccoli, and then in the evening they are in pain. So different things for different people. You just need to know what affects you, right? Remembering things that are high in omega-6 foods. We tend to eat a diet that is very pro-inflammatory. For example, fried foods, high carbs, high refined sugar. All those contribute and actually encourage inflammation. So watch out for that. Then another thing, allergic reactions. And it affects us in two ways. So for one, we lose electrolytes through excessive urine, sweating, excessive diarrhea, vomiting. And so those electrolytic imbalances actually affect other systems that regulate inflammation. So that's there. Then the other thing is that allergic reactions also initiate on its own. For example, if it's like for stomach flu, for example, or food poisoning where there is an actual bacteria or virus, obviously your immune system is going to kick in. And again, unchecked, uncontrolled, unregulated, especially those viruses are not removed, inflammation sets in and can continue, right? And leading to pain later on. I mean, I had food poisoning back to back. That's what I tell you. I'm locked back into my kitchen. And what happened is that I had severe post stomach flu symptoms, which means that it's almost like you're having a stomach flu almost every single month. And what happened in that time after the actual food poisoning episode, right? I started to get joint pain. And believe it or not, I started to get joint pain. And knowing that I have to now really pay serious attention to my electrolyte balance, particularly for sodium, magnesium, and so forth. We'll talk about that again just in a minute. Another thing I want to talk about is your digestive health, your gut health. If you do not have the right balance between good and bad bacteria and the right amount and types of the various different types of enzymes, your food there needs to be present at different points of the digestive process. And if they're not present in the right quantities, the various types through the system, your food is not going to be broken down efficiently and your food is not going to be absorbed. And there are a lot of different complications associated with poor, with malabsorption and of course malnutrition. Infection. Now, this may be more straightforward because obviously it's a virus or a bacteria or fungi or something that the body recognizes as foreign, and therefore the immune system kicks in. And again, it can spread. Like my customer Perry, who had a bad accident and of course wasn't under doctor's care for a good while, but unfortunately, where the incision was that they used to put in the tubes started to become infectious. I mean, it was so bad that he actually was feverish and trembling and so forth. But he was really fighting it, but it was spreading because it wasn't taken care of properly. And it actually spread to his back and actually started giving him back pain. That's how serious it is. So sometimes you're having back pain, not recognizing that your body, especially if it's associated with fever, chills, your body shivering, for example, a kind of feeling of fatigue and weakness sometimes, a lot of times, is that is an infection that your body is trying to fight. Hormones. Now, I'm going to really focus on cortisol. I mean, obviously, the body has a lot of, the hormonal system affects different parts, and these parts all fit together. But cortisol, obviously, is very much related to the adrenal gland. I mean, when you're highly stressed, I mean, cortisol raises in the bloodstream, but cortisol actually gives you that little, as I said, connectivity to the adrenal gland to give you that little burst of energy, helps with keeping your body as a homeostatic state, helps with glucose, glucose metabolism and other functions like that, memory, etc. But what happens is that low levels of cortisol tends to remove the ability to control the inflammation, and it then is unregulated. Because insulin itself, because cortisol is very related to insulin, helping to maintain your blood sugar levels. Because without cortisol, you tend to naturally have problems with insensitivity to insulin, hypoglycemia, basically a lot of glucose in your bloodstream, right? And that in itself creates a system that initiates the immune system, especially because of its connection with the omega-6 fatty acids that again create a favorable environment for inflammation. Obviously, I'm giving an oversimplified sort of talk on this just to give you the overview that all of these different things can lead to inflammation and additionally directly lead to arthritis, joint pain. And I want to, so before I get to the other point I want to make about how diet is important, particularly if you have pain in your right side, like just on a finger or just a toe, particularly something like gout, I don't know what happened to my tongue there, gout, similar to that, is usually affected by, your protein levels, and of course directly related to the liver and gallbladder. And the thing about it is that, as I just said, when your essential fatty acids, for example, your omega-6, gets out of whack in relation to its omega-9 substances, again, you can initiate the inflammatory process. And a big part of the body's ability to regulate, for want of a better word, will break down fats and so forth and absorb essential fatty acids. It's actually the liver and the gallbladder. So if it's not functioning properly, let's just say the essential fatty acids are not going to be metabolized and broken down efficiently. All right? Again, initiating the inflammatory process. And this was a little bit, a shocker to me. Now, I know that electrolyte imbalance, like lack of calcium, magnesium, zinc, phosphorus, for example, all can lead to your skeletal decreased bone density, strength, bone weakness, and of course, leg cramps, of course. But it was interesting when I found out about the potassium, that low potassium directly is associated with your bone structure as well as your muscles, being muscle is important to build muscles. And of course, your communication system is important for that. So if you have low potassium, imagine you will get things like hypertension, cardiac arrest, yes, your heart problems, hypertension, and so forth. But more than that, low potassium is also associated with low cortisol levels, very low cortisol levels, which in itself, as explained before, through various pathways, initiate and encourage prolonged inflammation. Vitamin D also is very important for the absorption of calcium, and of course, directly related to both limb and skeletal health. At high levels or appropriate levels, rather, it actually inhibits the inflammatory process. So it's also a very key part of the regulation of the entire inflammation process. But through all of these things, you recognize how that is very important. And for many people that have found relief from high supplementation, so that's high-end supplementation, that covers a lot of the different minerals and vitamins. And of course, you recognize dealing with a diet that's very low in omega-6, because you want to create that environment where your body's natural defense system is working properly, but more than that, your immune system is working properly, your hormonal system is working properly. So those safety checks, those checks and balances are there. And you want your liver to be working properly to make sure that any toxic or waste material is being removed efficiently from the body and not creating a whole system where it's encouraging inflammation, because your body now is trying to cleanse itself. All right, because it's encouraging growth of bad bacteria and having that spread throughout the body and blocking your lymphatic system and all that. But anyway, I didn't want to go into all those complications, but just to really compound, really emphasize how that is really important and how it affects the entire system. But of course, it may just manifest in one area more than the other. And in this lesson, we talked more about joint health, and the focus really is about joint health. But I wanted to show you how a lot of other things can be happening, but it's coming across and it's actually manifesting as joint health. But it'll start there. All right. So till the next time, thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, share, and comment. Bye.